Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Well, why don't you stroll on in here today and let's open our Bibles up. And we're going to read today in Psalm 9, verses 19 and 20. So just a real quick review. Psalm 9, we did this in two pieces. So the first part was verses 1 through 10. Second part, verses 11 through 20. And I just divided it just so that we could stay true to our mission, which is to study the Psalms verse by verse. So it gives us a chance to just really take it one piece at a time. It's not that the Psalm is divided in two pieces, but I just did that for us. And of course, we started this with, this is the Muthlabben Psalm. So I translate that as the death of a son. So David's grieved here by this, and he's upset, of course. Why wouldn't he be? And so the psalm really is couched in that emotion that David is, he's steeped in it. So we've looked at that psalm. We've seen some of the elements coming up through here. Judgment seems to be very important here, and of course, why wouldn't it be? The psalmist, if it is a son he's lost, then he wants God to judge the wicked man who did this. He wants things to be set right. So we've had that. We're going to have that again today. And if you have your Bible open there, let's open it up and look at verses 19 and 20. That's where we are today. So here we go, 19 and 20. Arise, O Lord, let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Selah. So again, the Lord, David has said confidently, the Lord is known by the judgments he executes. But then in this prayer that begins here in 19, or that continues here in 19, he says, Arise, O Lord, let not man prevail. Okay, so men are the subject here. Don't let them prevail, because if they prevail, then they get away with all the wickedness and the cruelties that they've executed. Well, the Lord's not going to allow that to happen. He's known by his judgments, and he's going to judge rightly here. And so David, even though he's made that confident confession there in verse 16, he comes here to 19 and he says, and of course, this is just the cry of his heart. O Lord, arise, let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Well, that's going to happen. But you know what? Sometimes it just doesn't happen quick enough for us, does it? It doesn't happen fast enough, especially for the ones that are left, the ones that are grieving. We've had so many people here in the United States that have been murdered, openly murdered in public places, in schools, college campuses, in the subways, in the streets. It's just awful. And those that are left cry out, Lord, judge. Don't let the wicked prevail. Don't let man prevail. And then we have there in verse 20, put them in fear, O Lord. You see, that's the remedy to the sinfulness that plagues us, is the fear of the Lord. If we would just fear him, not be afraid of him necessarily, but obey him. To obey him and to deny ourselves and to follow his way, the narrow way that Jesus told us about. There is a broad way and a narrow way. The wicked man walks down that broad way where everything is, he has a license to do it all. The righteous man walks down the narrow way, and he knows that his passions and inclinations are corrupt, and so he restricts them. And he does so with the help of the Spirit of God, which is sanctifying him. So the narrow way is the way, and David says, put them in fear that the nations may know that they are just men. Or King James has it, that they may know themselves to be but men. So the idea here, in the King James, that word but is not present in the Hebrew. But the idea in the language is that they're only men. My translation I have, that the nations may know that they are only men. They're not God. Let them know that. Put them in fear so that they know that they are not God. They're just men, and they will be judged. All right, well, join me again next time. And let me just give you a little tease for next time. Next time is Psalm 10. And we're going to do Psalm 10 in 2 parts. And this is the grand definition of the wicked. So David gives us a definition of the wicked. He's prayed here in 9 about the wicked man, that the Lord would judge him and that they would not prevail. And so now in 10, we're going to find out who that man is. What does he do? What is it that highlights the wicked man? So I hope you'll join me next week and the week after as we look at Psalm 10, parts 1 and 2, and we're going to look at the, 14, 15 different things that highlight wickedness in men. So I hope you'll join me then as we continue here on Daily Dose Radio.